Hello, this is Tony Davis, licensed couples therapist in Los Angeles, and I'm going to kind of do a bit of a brief wing it talk today about my latest newsletter topic, which is porn. And when I say I'm going to wing it, it's just because I don't want to get too deep into the article when you can just read the article, but I'd rather just kind of freely share some of my thoughts about this because the way that I view porn as a couples therapist is pretty much if it's the same way that I view any other problem that's brought in by couples is I have to look at what's underneath the problem. Porn in itself I see as a surface issue. And if couples get too focused on whether porn is good or bad, they can miss out on what's really going on, what the real need is underneath watching porn. And that's what I like to try and unearth because when we unearth those needs, what we find is that usually they're shared. The basic needs of people are not that different, whether they're men or women, whether we were, living 100,000 years ago or today, that we all want safety, security. We want to feel valued. We want to feel a sense of purpose. We want to feel relationship. We want to feel that we're living our lives. And the thing about porn is that I can see it as an attempt by the user, whether they're male or female, um, an attempt to connect or disconnect. It can be either. It can be a way to connect to your own erotic life, a way to connect to your fantasy life. And in that same way, it can be a way to disconnect from reality, which sometimes can be painful, difficult to accept. I see porn as a means, not as an end in itself. And I like to help couples figure out what is the means that it it's being used to get you to. And that's where the conversation can start to become fruitful, so to speak. So the interesting thing is, there's been some form of erotic imagery for thousands, of years in humanity. Um, and they didn't call it porn back then, but there has been this fascination with sexuality, sex acts, nudity, and whether it's right or wrong, I just don't find to be a useful conversation. Frankly, I think it's a rather childish conversation. Um, it's not very adult because right or wrong is kind of the way that you describe things to a child to get them to not do something or to do something. But adults are able to deal hopefully with nuance and the fact that there's a lot of things that fall in between right and wrong. And I just like to look at right and wrong as uh, whether or not it's right or wrong for you as an individual or right or wrong for the relationship. In other words, does it work? Does it impair your relationship in some way? Um, does it impair your individual well-being in some way? And if it does, that needs to be addressed because then you may not be using porn respectfully towards yourself or towards your relationship. And that's what needs to be talked about. So, anyways, I'm going to kind of wrap up there. These are the things that I wanted to try and address in the article, and I'll put a link to the article if I can in this video. Um, but I hope that if you find yourself struggling with porn use, either yourself or your partners, and are having trouble talking about this together, I really encourage you to get the help of a qualified and trained couples therapist because there's no need to break up over this. It can open up a really great conversation um, and allow you to understand each other's erotic, sensual, and sexual lives a lot better, which can ultimately benefit you as a couple. So there you have it. That's porn. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.